Hey guys, I'm Savannah.
And I'm Anna.
And this is Murder, Lies, and Alibis.
Okay. So the case we're doing today is the Morgan Nick case. This case is very close to us. I've met the family, is from where we're from. And
it was the case that we were told about to not go away from our parents, to not always be inside of our parents, because this is what happened to this little girl. And growing up, that was instilled in our heads. This was that case for people.
Yes, this and the Angela Allen case, which we will talk about another time. But it's the case where, don't let go of mom's hand. Always let us know where you are at all times.
Never talk to strangers. Don't go with strangers.
It's a case that reminds us that stuff can happen here, because all small towns are like, oh, that'll never happen here.
Nothing ever bad here happens.
Yes.
Leave your doors unlocked. It was definitely that type of feeling, and the fact that this happened, and tragically this has never been solved.
Yes.
So again, discretion is advised. We're going to talk about young children, missing child,
sexual abuse, rape,
anything of that nature. And if you are not in a mentally stable place to listen to that, please go away from this video, come back a different time. But without further ado, Anna, go ahead.
Okay, so at 10:45 p.m. on June 9th, 1995, in Alma, Arkansas, 6-year-old Morgan Nick was abducted from a Little League baseball game by an unidentified man. Morgan was there with her mother. During the game, she joined some friends in catching lightning bugs in the parking lot.
As we all do.
Yes. At the time, well, hold on, pause. Okay. The last time anyone saw her, she was standing by her mother's car emptying sand from her shoe. And witnesses at the park remember seeing a man watching the kids play. And they found a red Ford pickup truck with white camper caps that didn't quite fit the bed of the truck. They said that around the time that Morgan vanished, so did the truck. The man was described as white, about 6 feet tall, medium to solid build, with a mustache and a 1-inch beard. At the time, he was thought to be between 23 and 38 years old. Morgan herself was about 4 feet tall, 55 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Very cute. We'll insert a picture. Very, very cute.
She was last seen wearing a green Girl Scouts t-shirt, blue denim shorts, and white tennis shoes. And despite thousands of leads over nearly 3 decades, no solid clues really have been revealed. Nothing really came up.
There's been nothing.
Nothing. But despite that, her mother always believed that she was alive, always believed that they would find her. And today, Morgan would be around 37 years old.
This is actually the 30th anniversary of her disappearance.
2025 would be 30 years, so 3 decades.
In June, obviously.
Yeah.
So very sad.
Very sad. Now, let's talk about a name that eventually became central to this case, which is Billy Jack Links.
We will also insert a picture of him.
Yes.
Here.
So Billy was born and raised in Crawford County, which is where Arkansas or Alma is. He served in the U.S. military during World War II and later worked for Braniff Airlines in Dallas from 1962 to 1974. And by the late 1970s, he had returned back to the River Valley, Crawford County. Let's see. In 1992, Billy Jack Links was charged with raping a 14-year-old girl. That charge later was reduced to sexual abuse in the first degree, so he never got jail time. He avoided that and was placed on probation and had to do classes.
Which, I'm sorry, if you were ever charged with sexual abuse of any child of any nature, you deserve to have your balls ripped off. And you should be in prison. Like, if if this person did do it, which we're going to get into our theories and who we think actually did it, but if he did, if he would have just been in prison, this would have never happened.
Yeah. But he escaped jail time, was put on probation, and had to do counseling. That was all that he was given for that. But just 2 months after Morgan's abduction in 1995, Billy was arrested again, this time attempting to abduct an 11-year-old girl at a Sonic drive-in in Van Buren, just only 8 miles from the ballpark where Morgan was disappeared. At the time, no one really connected him to the case. He was interviewed because he was a registered sex offender. But again, because of the original age range from 23 to 38, they did not suspect him.
But there were also a lot of disappearing girls at the time. There were 3 other cases around the same time that had also happened in the Van Buren, Alma area, Fort Smith area.
Yeah. And Billy would have been 67 years old when Morgan was taken, so very far from the age range.
Which is why we suspect something different. But
yes.
Again, we will get into that at closer to the end of the...
Billy had 3 sons, William, Edward, and Andrew, or Andy, Links. Not much is known about William or Edward. Andy, however, had moved in with his mother to Jessieville, Arkansas, which is right next to Hot Springs, after his parents divorced. He would have been 26 years old at the time of Morgan's abduction, so within the age range, although reports suggest he was still living in Jessieville at this time.
We've tried to fact check that, and we cannot confirm.
No, the only confirmation that I could make is people who also lived there and had known them or something that said that he was living in Jessieville, which, to be fair, he could have still been living there. But then
he could have also visited down here.
Yeah.
There's multiple... We just don't know for sure where he was at the time.
Yes.
We cannot confirm.
But years later, in February of 2011, Andy Links, now living in, I think, Bozeman, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Bozeman, Montana, he broke into a woman's home and demanded money. The situation quickly escalated into rape, and the victim's roommate heard her scream. She actually heard her scream the words, "Get off of me." And the roommate, to her geniusness, she was genius for not just bursting in there and investigating. She immediately just called the police, and Andy was arrested at the scene because the roommate did not interrupt. She just called the police and waited for the police to come. So I'm assuming he did not know these people. Was completely random because he would have known that she had a roommate. But he had no prior criminal record, and told authorities he was intoxicated and didn't understand why he did it. Which,
yeah, of course,
Gatling County Deputy Attorney Ashley Whipple told the court he doesn't understand why he did what he did, and that makes him a loose cannon. So it made it which this was already really bad, but it made it kind of worse. And Andy was sentenced to 10 years in prison and released on December 31st, 2019. However, he later violated the 20-year parole term also imposed, landing him back under strict jurisdiction supervision. I couldn't find how he violated parole. I also couldn't find if he was just on a close watch or if he was back in jail. It just said supervision. But then we fast forward to 2022, which I know so much about this because I was a senior in high school, and they had
found the truck.
Well, the truck was still in evidence. It had never moved from evidence because he had passed away. No one claimed the truck. None of his family had claimed the truck. But they decided to get a search warrant and search the truck, which I don't know why they didn't do that because, keep in mind, Billy's truck was a red Ford with white caps that did not fit the truck.
Mind you, they did not search the truck until, 2020?
No, 2022. This is when they searched the truck.
They didn't search the truck until 2022. So since 1995, from whenever they got the truck, which
they got
Billy
the truck in 1995, he died in 2000 in prison.
Yeah. So they had the truck for a while.
Yes. And but they decided to search it, got a search warrant, searched it, found little pieces of what could be green fabric. Not sure because, like, again, through the decades.
And it was previously owned by other people, correct?
Before Billy, yes.
Yes.
But they had found little pieces of what could be green fabric, and she's wearing a green t-shirt.
And they also
they couldn't really say.
They also found a hair.
They found a hair sample. And I don't know if they didn't do anything with that right away, because they didn't get anything from that until 2024. So we go to 2024, 29 years after Morgan Nick's disappearance. And they had a press conference. Alma had issued a statement that they were going to do a press conference with an update on the Morgan Nick case, which
we had nothing for years.
Nobody knew. The only new information that we gotten was from 2 years before, where they had told us that they searched the truck and found the hair sample, but they didn't tell us anything other than that. And then for 2 more years, we know nothing. And I only know so much. I only know that because my art teacher was so obsessed with it, and she would tell us everything and stuff. But
the hair was confirmed to be Morgan Nick's.
Maybe. So,
because they
had watched the press. Yes, I
did it with her mother.
Yeah, I had watched the press conference when I was at work, and Alma Police Chief Jeff Porter had said that they had sent the hair sample to the FBI. And when the results came back, the DNA matched a member of Morgan Nick's family, and the member was Morgan's mother, because she had been the one to give DNA. And so whoever was in the truck, whoever's hair that was related to Colleen Nick, which is Morgan's mother. But her mother had also said that no one from Morgan's family had ever been inside that truck. No one knew Billy.
There was no reason for
and this
any
is
of
a close-knit family.
There.
This is a close-knit family. Like, it's not like they have some cousin or something that they know nothing about. Like, this is a close-knit family. They would have known. But in the interview following the discovery, Colleen had spoke. She said this, now I just want to know where Morgan is. There's probably a 1% chance that she's still alive, but I really don't think she is. She went on to say, he had already been convicted of this. He was instructed that if it happened again, he'd be in prison. So I don't think he wanted to leave a witness this time. Colleen had added, I would have liked him to look at our family and admit what he did. I don't think we have justice, but we do have an answer to who took Morgan. She had described the discovery as gut punch. Like, it was a gut punch.
Because this is the first thing that we had solid proof of,
even though
someone being connected to it.
Even though it had brought her one step closer to closure. Because through all these years until, like, this discovery, I do believe that she thought that somehow, some way,
she was alive.
There was also a lot of, like, stuff online of people that did know the case around the world reporting someone that looked like Morgan, or reporting this, because
a lot of times they will do AI generated aged up pictures
of what she would have looked like. So people were saying that, oh, I've seen her here, seen her there, and I think that made her
one thing that was a very strong for many years, at least from people that I talked to, was lots of people thought that the dad had taken her for a very
that was a rumor. It was also rumored that her parents were divorced and she had a stepdad, which I had done research on it, and nowhere does it say that she had a stepdad. I couldn't find to see if her parents were divorced or not, but there was a rumor that
they are no longer together now, for sure.
Okay.
But at the time, we couldn't find if they were already divorced or not, but a very big rumor that started after her disappearance was that the dad had come, kidnapped her, taken her over state lines, and was basically
brainwashing her,
making her think, all these, because she still was young enough to do that. But, now, so many years later, if she was, I mean, there would have been something. She would have been trying to get a job. She would have tried to graduate. Like, there would have been something at this point, especially
even if she had a different name. Like,
like, you can't just
because I can remember things when I was 5.
Like, so to us now, we kind of debunked that, and so did the police. The police basically debunked that
also theory. Like, her dad couldn't have done it.
Yeah, like he was proven to be where like
very
he was proven not to be even near the city at the time. So
yeah, there was no way her dad could have done it. But anyways, again, she described the discovery as a gut punch, even though it brought her one step closer to closure. She said her emotions were very raw. She'd also said, "My fight for Morgan all these years has been to find her and bring her home, to be part of our family again. I fought for that chance, like somehow she survived this. And in my heart and in my head, that's where she is, that somehow she survived." And at the press conference, where investigators shared the new evidence, Colleen spoke directly about Billy Jack Links. She had said, "He stole Morgan from us, but he didn't win. Our love for Morgan, her memory, her voice outlasted his life. That love continues to shine. Morgan's heart shines on." Which, keep in mind, I was at work during this, and me and a coworker were watching it, and it was happened at the Alma Police Department, and I worked literally not even a minute from the police department. I worked right there beside it, and knowing that was happening right there, we started tears in our eyes. It was,
because this is a case that we always held out hope that she would be able to come home.
Yes, like
and as unlikely as that is, and that especially now, we always held out hope that she was alive, because again, we don't have a body. There's no body. There's no never been
nothing.
We
don't know what happened.
We don't know what her last moments were. And I can only imagine she was probably terrified.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I truly believe that she is no longer here.
It was for a long time, and I think this is why they also didn't consider Billy. There was no scream from Morgan. There was no her trying to escape. So they thought, and again, go back to death. They thought she had known who took her.
Yeah, like it happened literally. Like she was literally just getting sand out of her shoe. Her mom looked away for a minute. I mean, they weren't like that far apart either.
No.
Like she was like across the parking lot, but not like across the parking lot, and looked away for a minute and snatched. Like so fucking
Which
fast.
Also maybe brings me to, it could have been Billy and not one of his sons, because especially in the 90s, like you see an old man, like 67, an old man, gray hair, everything, you think, oh, that's like grandpa. He's like grandpa.
But for me too, like the other kids that were the eyewitnesses, the other people that were eyewitnesses, I differ. I also do think it could have been his son.
I do too. I think
he looks a lot more like the composite sketch that was made.
Yes, and we will put a picture of Andy and a picture of the original sketch
together side by side. And of course,
yes.
And on top of that, the things that he later on went out to do. I'm sorry, you don't just start doing that.
No.
But also, like, again, where is Morgan? Where, like, somebody somewhere somehow knows something.
Yes. And also, after the new evidence had come out about Billy and everything, connecting him directly to this case and not just through suspicion and everything, reporters had gone to his eldest son's house, William Links, trying to get him to comment on it, talk about his father or something like that, because the FBI had been asking anybody from his family, his personal life, his non-personal life, anybody who knew him, to just tell us about him, to try and connect to them. But reporters had gone to William's house, trying to get him to comment on it, and I think a girl who was there, who said to be around in her 30s, had yelled, "We deserve peace."
And I'm sorry,
they wouldn't talk.
Fuck you.
Yes, like,
I'm sorry, I don't care if there's a suspicion that someone in your life has done something like this horrible. I don't care. Like, say you and me, if there's a suspicion that you killed someone, I don't care. I want to either prove that you didn't, or, I mean, fuck you. If you did it, fuck you. You're going to jail. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I get wanting peace after it is known. Like, after they confirm everything and actually charge someone, even though Billy has passed away, like, even if they know fully that this is the person that did it, then yeah, you deserve peace because you have nothing to do with it.
But we still don't know.
And I'll get that. But you can at least figure out what happened.
Because again, somehow.
I'm pretty sure he has children. Like, what if your child, like, wouldn't you want the family or someone to help?
Yeah. And on top of that, I'm sorry, like, there are things of taking trophies. I mean, I'm sorry, somewhere whoever did this messed up. I mean, has to have. And, like, is someone in this family, I truly do believe that, because I'm sorry, there's no way that her hair could be in that truck for any other reason. But again, I don't think it necessarily was Billy, because A, he was really old. B, you know, it seems more likely it was the son, because he looks more like the cousin.
And maybe it wasn't Andy, because he did have 3 sons.
It just looks more likely to him. But again, someone in that family has to know. You cannot tell me that they just took that to the grave. I mean, it is possible, but there's something somewhere. And again, where is her body? You can't just make a body go away. Like, for a long time, I thought maybe they threw her in the Arkansas River. Like, maybe they weighed her down, something. Because again,
I still feel like they would have found her, because the Arkansas River floods and it rises, and they have to drain it, and they have to do everything to it. So,
but again, like,
over 3 decades,
the Ozarks are very vast and everything like that. But again, like, how you got away with it so fast?
Everywhere where you think you could hide something and get away with it are most likely going to be hunting areas, because every rural place in the woods is a hunting area. So she would have been found by now. After 3 decades of people hunting, people finding it, she would have been found.
And it's like, how did you dispose of her body? Because after she was taken, the FBI, the police activity was so massive in that area for a couple years, I think. At least for
they're still involved.
They're still involved. But like, right after she disappeared, there were swarms of police activity there. So how did you get rid of her? Like, she has to be somewhere. She has to be. I truly don't believe that she's alive. I truly don't. And that's hard to say, but after this long, she would be 37. I don't believe that she is alive. I truly don't. And that's so hard and so sad. But again, for how scared she must have been at that time, and, you know, she probably just wanted her mom. She was probably confused. She probably didn't know what was going on. And the saddest part is, like, we don't know what her last moments were. We don't know what happened to her. And even if we somehow, by the grace of God, by a miracle, find her body, it's been so long, we probably will never be able to determine what happened to her.
No, but they'd have closure, and depending on where they find the body.
Exactly. If we could just find the body, and they would be able to lay her to rest. Her mother could lay her to rest. Like, again, somebody somewhere knows something that.
And also, Billy Jack Links, he was arrested in 1995 for the final time when he tried to abduct that 11-year-old, and then he died 5 years later in prison. Like, but he had 5 years in prison. Did they even talk to anybody?
True.
But I don't know.
But again, like, most killers, again, they will like to brag. So he must have said something to one of his inmates. Somebody has to know something. He could have kept a trophy of her. Again, like, there has to be something. And it's so infuriating that, if he did do it, he died in 2000. Like, he got off scot-free. And that is
for Morgan Nick.
If he did it.
Yes.
If he did it. But again, like, his son, I kind of do lean more towards it was his son, personally. I do. I think both of them are pieces of shit. I think both of them don't deserve to live.
Also, another thing that I forgot to mention, the county attorney in Andy Link's case, after he was sentenced and stuff, she had gone to the prison and interviewed him while he was in prison. And I guess the first thing he had said to her was, "Are they okay?" And he had apologized so many times. And the attorney had put out a statement saying that she believes, which I think helped him get only a 10-year sentence, because she had said that she believes him to be very empathetic and,
But also, killers know how to manipulate people. So, like, yes, he could be just acting really, really well.
And again, we still don't know if Andy is a killer, because right now Andy is only, what we know of him, he just raped
one.
Well, not just. I say just. I don't mean
But
just.
he raped one woman.
Yes.
But again, like, the father, him, wasn't another son convicted of something as well?
No, so William, the only thing you can really find on William is when they had gone to his house and gotten it. You can't find almost anything other than that on him. And Edward, there's absolutely nothing on Edward. I assume that they don't have social media and they don't do that because of Billy and because of Andy. I also tried to look up his daughter because he had a daughter named Sue Taylor who lives in Texas. She lives in Colony, Texas, and there's nothing on her either.
But it's definitely a big father like son type situation. Like, it's very evident that they're both evil people, to be able to do that to anybody.
Yes.
And again, the Billy tried to kidnap an 11-year-old, or
You
did.
will, okay, first
he did.
in 1982 he raped a 14-year-old, but then the charges were brought down to sexual abuse in the first degree, and he didn't get any jail time. Then in 1995, 2 months after Morgan, that's when he attempted to abduct a woman.
So again, that does show a pattern. Obviously, those are only 3 people that potentially 3 people, but you take the 14-year-old and then you take the 11-year-old attempting to kidnap her. That's, oh, you want another victim. But again, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because no one will know for sure until something is said, more evidence is brought. But again, at this point of time, it's been so long. The only way we're going to get evidence is if there's something written down, if there's someone that knows the full story.
If someone from his family would just corroborate.
Or if the body is found. Like, the main thing that I want is for Morgan to be brought home. Like, that is the only thing that I care about at this point, because her mother has been suffering for so long. And there was people at the time, there was people that even accused her of doing
Yes. Well, okay, so Colleen was, I can't remember the show's name, but I think it was like Extreme House Makeover or something. And Colleen was on that show, and they had built the Morgan Nick house. And a lot of people had accused Colleen of maybe her doing this to get attention
and to get the house, to get a new house,
or to get something,
money or whatever.
They also, like, it was awful.
It was nasty.
I met Colleen one time in my life, and she was amazing. Bringing us also to this, after Morgan's abduction, Colleen had founded the Morgan Nick Foundation. It was dedicated to preventing child abductions through education and awareness and supporting families of missing children and adults. So this isn't only limited to children. I can also say, like, you can see the posters. If anybody's missing, if there's any children missing, there's so many Morgan Nick posters.
I actually believe
in a lot of Walmarts around here, a lot of other stores and everything.
So actually, a little side note, actually, don't quote me on this, but I actually believe I had run away when I was 15. And I believe when that happened, they actually contacted Mom and Dad and were trying to send out, because they did send out an Amber thing on me.
Yes, you did get an Amber Alert, but nothing's really done because, like, because we had, being your sisters, we had known a little bit of where you were and what was going on.
But, like, they had contacted my parents, and so, like, they're like the people that get contact when children disappear. Because there was another case that happened shortly after this, where a girl was abducted from a bowling alley, which we will cover that case.
Yes.
And they are the ones that sent out the Amber Alert, and Morgan Nick sent out volunteers.
They're kind of, and from personal experience with the Morgan Nick Foundation, it's kind of like a link to authorities. So parents and families that have missing children and stuff and just don't know what to do other than calling the police and stuff, and don't know how to go further and everything, they kind of get you in touch with everybody that you need to be in touch with.
Which
and
get you
posters, get everything out there about this child, everything about the case, and
which we will link them in our
if you want to learn more about the foundation, or you want to donate
or anything,
we'll put the link in. But also, I want to say, every year on the anniversary of Morgan's disappearance, so June 9th, the Nick family releases pink balloons, and it's pink because that was her favorite color. into the sky. Each balloon carries a card with Morgan's photo, the age progression of what she would have looked like, and a message of hope from the family. And some of these balloons have traveled like so far from like Indiana, Georgia, and Alabama, where people have reported like, because they go up and then they pop once they reach a certain point in the atmosphere, and then the card falls down. And so many people have like reported seeing them in these places, so they travel very far. And what I want to say is, where the Morgan Nick house is, when I want to say like 8 or 9,
and I believe it's
my
pink,
dad,
right?
the house, no, I think it's just like a normal color. I think there's
For some reason I thought it was
green,
pink, but
no. But
we'll insert a picture of the house.
yeah, my dad, because he works in construction, he was working on the neighbor's house next to the Morgan Nick house, and it just so happened to me this day. I didn't even know, but it was June 9th, so they were doing the balloon ceremony, and we were about to leave because me and my sister went with my dad to work a lot, and my dad didn't know what was going on because we didn't know that was the Morgan Nick house. And so my dad had walked over and asked what was going on, and they had told him, and they had also asked if we wanted to be a part of it. And my dad was like, no, we're about to leave because we had stuff to do. But then I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was her dad or who, but someone had walked up to the car, and it was a man, and he had asked like if we wanted a balloon, because we were kids. I was like 8, my sister was like 6. They'd asked if we wanted a balloon. Me and my sister, knowing the Morgan Nick, after my dad had told us what it was, we were like, no, you're like gonna release those in the sky, so we want someone else to find them. But they did have a stack of like some of extra cards that they tied to the balloon, and so he did give us.
And also, Morgan Nick did have a brother as well, that was older, I believe.
I'm not sure on that.
I believe he was older than her, but she did have a brother who still lived with the mother. He never went with the dad or anything like that. But that's another thing that I believe I heard that he's dealt with a lot of issues afterwards in the loss of his sister.
Yeah. I don't
which
know
is
much.
valid. Like, I'm sorry, like
yeah, other than Colleen Nick, I don't know much about the family.
Colleen Nick is definitely the face of the Morgan Nick Foundation and her story and everything like that. Again, like her dad, we don't know much about. Like,
no,
we don't know if they were divorced already or if they got divorced after. I'm assuming they were already divorced because of the rumor of him taking her. But again, like, we just don't know for sure too much into that. But again, like our thoughts and our theories are our opinions and our opinions alone.
Yes.
Take whatever we say with a grain of salt. But again, we never want anyone to forget about Morgan. I feel like we will be able to find her one day. I feel like there is information out there that somebody knows that they need to come forward. And again, you can always contact the Alma Police Department with any information.
Or the Morgan Nick Foundation.
As well, yes.
There's also, I think you can find this on the foundation page where it tells Morgan's story, because when you get on the Morgan Nick Foundation, first thing you see is Morgan's story. And the FBI is still asking people, like, they are begging people who know anything about Billy Lynch Jacks, and there's a phone number on there where you can contact the FBI directly. So again, they are offering $60,000 or more. I don't know if they upped it on any information that leads to any clues.
So again, let's try to bring Morgan Nick home. Let's keep her story alive, and hopefully we can find her one day.
Yes.
Would you like to close this out?
Yes. Thank you for listening. And this is
Murder, Lies, and Alibis. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.